Wow.
And we are live from Boston University's Case Gym, getting you guys right into things in the Patriot League final as Lehigh just knocks down a three. They are now up 13-8 on the Boston University Terriers. I'm Owen Gunn, joined by Sarah Sturtevant, and it is great to have you here with us on WTBU Sports for this Patriot League final. Sarah, what are you looking for here from the Terriers in this game as we get started and BU knocks down a jump shot to make it 13-10?
Well, obviously, going into this, the Terriers have had some steam on their heels, and they've been playing an aggressive game. That they just came off a big win against American University, 72-51. I'm looking for some key players in Katie Nelson, who she is the playmaker for the Terriers, and for Maren Durant. If she can find her footing in the paint, I think she'll be a huge contributor for the Terriers going forward.
Durant and Riley Childs both been key contributors on the rebounding side of things, especially, and they'll be key in this contest as Lehigh gets a bucket to go. That's I believe it was Hottinger on that one for Lehigh, but it's now 15-10 lead for Lehigh. 3:22 to go in the first quarter as Katie Nelson pulls up that was Sydney Johnson rather, who pulled up and made the 3-pointer. Lehigh setting things up in the BU area, going for the basket there, and getting it was Emma Grothus for Lehigh, and now BU with a three to answer. No good. 17-13 Lehigh early here in the first quarter.
Yeah, you already mentioned two key players for Lehigh, Franny Hottinger and Emma Grothus. Franny Hottinger leads them in scoring and rebounding, and she's in all Patriots League second team, so she is going to be one for the Terriers to look for. And Emma Grothus is the top rebounder for Lehigh. She has 14 rebounds her last game with 12 points, so if she heats up again tonight, she is going to be a lot of trouble for the Terriers.
The battle along the board is going to be key in this one as Mary Clardy knocked down the floater there to make it a 19-13 lead for Lehigh with just over 2 minutes to go in the first quarter as Katie Nelson was looking to the side. She was trying to find Esposito, went out of bounds. We'll see who touched it last. Looks like BU is going to keep the ball here with 2 seconds to go on the shot clock.
Yeah, we're already starting to see some emotion from Coach Marissa Mosley at her Terriers. I mean, the last time the Terriers made a Patriot League run or an NCAA championship run at all was when Coach Mosley was a player herself back in 2003. So this is a high stakes game for them. They've worked all year for it. They had their season end short last year. So this is some unfinished business for the Terriers, and they need this win.
Yeah, and even more so making it unfinished business, the fact that they were scheduled to play this very Lehigh team in the semifinals of the Patriot League last year before the world kind of shut down and they were unable to play that game. So very much unfinished business here as we approach the end of the first quarter. Looks like there was a timeout, but yeah, BU looking to make history here against this Lehigh team. Lehigh, though, what have you seen from them? Because they certainly had an impressive upset win over Bucknell to get here. What do you think are some challenges BU is going to face against this Lehigh team?
I mean, Lehigh is just aggressive. They're aggressive on defense, they're aggressive on offense. They lead the league in three-pointers. They average 10 per game. So all around, the Terriers are just going to have to hold it together and work on the little things to keep Lehigh from advancing too strong. I mean, you already see Lehigh has an advantage in this first quarter, and if the Terriers don't stop them now, I think the game could get out of their hands.
Yeah, and Franny Hottinger certainly a force to be reckoned with, as you mentioned, for this Lehigh team. And early on, she's been 4 or 5 from the field, are already making her presence known. On the BU side, early on, it's been Sydney Johnson going 2 for 4 from the field. Everybody else hasn't quite gotten enough shots off as we get set to resume play here from Case Gym at Boston University. Great for the Terriers to be hosting the Patriot League championship game for the first time, as Sydney Johnson got the inbound to Katie Nelson, who tried to get a shot off right at the shot clock, hit the rim, but was no good. And now Lehigh coming the other way. A shot right there from, I believe that was Sexe for the Mountain Hawks, and that one was no good. Sydney Johnson coming the other way, driving with the right hand, and that one was no good. And then went off of Riley Childs, and we'll see who went off of last, but a good back and forth sequence there.
Yeah, some quick pace. We've got it going right now. I mean, you can see Lehigh is just taking advantage of their speed right now.
As the Mountain Hawks regather things, and that was a shot there from Behar, and that'll fall. So now 21-13. Mountain Hawks getting off to a good start. BU the other way. Sydney Johnson, who was very noticeable last game, went 5 of 6 from beyond the arc in a dominant win over the American University Eagles as she drove, and that one was no good. Lehigh coming the other way. 3-point attempt by Kramer, no good, but she gets knocked down, and Lehigh will keep the ball here.
You mentioned Sydney Johnson. Sydney Johnson is a consistent player, but if she doesn't find her rhythm early on, it is detrimental to the Terriers, their whole game. And she's just one of those players who really needs to find her footing. And if she doesn't, it's just not going to be her game.
As Kramer, the freshman from St. Michael, Minnesota, she'll go to the line. And I think they're having a discussion right now as to whether she is granted 2 or 3 free throws on this play, whether she was in front of or behind the line. But a good offensive push to start things off for Lehigh. And BU's going to have to keep pace. And Sydney Johnson, as you mentioned, is going to be a big part of that, and BU getting going offensively. As we look at the replay here, it looks like she was just behind the arc. Kramer was, when she pulled up from 3. They might be looking at when she gets touched by Esposito for the foul. Looks like the officials have made their decision, and she's going to shoot 2, I believe. That's from the line, and Mosley is discussing plays right now. But Kramer will go to the line and shoot 2 free throws for this Lehigh team, with the Mountain Hawks up 21-13 with 1:12 to go in the first, as sinking the first free throw is Kramer. Lehigh got off to a good start in their game against Bucknell on Thursday, so BU will definitely have to make sure they stay in this one early, as Katie Nelson takes it up past half court. Nelson looking to quarterback things for the Terriers. She drops it off for Riley Childs. Childs going to send it out for Esposito. Esposito sends it up top for Johnson, who gives it over to Nelson. Nelson gives it to Esposito with a quick release, and Esposito isn't quite able to get it to go, but the offensive rebound, she gets it back. Nelson up top with 16 seconds on the shot clock, 43 to go in the first quarter. BU down by 10, 23-13, as Sydney Johnson takes it, tries to get it inside for Durant. Durant sends it out for Esposito. Esposito with the shot, and it rattles out. Lehigh able to get the rebound. 27 seconds to go. Shot clock turned off here.
That's just an unlucky result of a good effort by the Terriers. I mean, I like that movement they had going. It seemed controlled. They weren't getting ahead of themselves or too hasty, and they had some good chances. Now they just have to get it in.
As Claire Steele will run things from the top, it gets inside and going for it there. Behar was passed it out, and a shot that was no good. Rebound, that was an air ball, and the first quarter is now complete here. Lehigh clinging to a 23-13 lead against BU, as we can see Mosley talking to her squad. But Sarah, if you're Mosley, what are you saying to your Terriers right now, down 10 early on here?
I'm saying we got to play our game. The Terriers aren't one to have such a lead like this get taken advantage of by them. Like they usually have their footing early on, as I keep saying, but they're a pretty solid team. They only lost, I think, 2 games this season. They're pretty sturdy. They're headstrong. But every time we've talked to Mosley so far this year, she has said that there are still things that they need to work on, that they can improve, that they're driven to get better. When is that going to happen? We see them keep working harder, and they've made it this far. But if I'm her, I'm trying to light a fire under my team to get them to find who they are and to play their game.
Well, we'll see if the Terriers can do just that, find who they are. We'll get a little bit of a break in the action here. First quarter is over. We'll see you in just a bit here on WTBU Sports. And we're back here at Case Gym, Boston University for the Patriot League Finals. The Lehigh University Mountain Hawks currently with a 23-13 lead over the Boston University Terriers from Case Center. Lehigh has certainly impressed throughout the tournament, especially in their win against Bucknell last game. And early on, what do you think, Sarah, what do you think has enabled Lehigh to get off to this fast start and have so much success offensively?
For Lehigh, their strength is just in their players and in their unity as a team. I mean, they had that upset against Bucknell, which nobody really saw coming, even though Lehigh is competitive and they have their strengths going in with their threes. But when it comes down to this, the Terriers are 12-2 overall in the season. They're undefeated at home for the last few games. So if Lehigh already upset Bucknell, it wouldn't be too surprising if they were to upset the Terriers and defeat that home defensive streak again. Their offense is just crushing it right now.
As Katie Nelson sinks the three there to cut the deficit to 7. Nelson, of course, the senior standout for BU, really a leader on this team, as Sydney Johnson pulls up from just in front of the three-point arc. That one was no good. Rebound from Lehigh. But yeah, no, I certainly wouldn't be surprised to see Lehigh come in here and pull off the upset. As three-point attempt there, no good. Rebound from Grother, and she's able to get fouled. But certainly Lehigh has impressed with their ability to play together as a team, as you mentioned, And early on against BU, they're definitely imposing their will on this Terriers team.
Yeah, Lehigh. Also, we know that Marin Durant can be strong in the paint and she's good at rebounds, but Lehigh doesn't just have one person doing that. They have their whole team crashing the boards, getting that rebound, getting those extra chances, and that's a huge advantage when it comes to this game when you're competing for a championship.
As Emma Groth's first free throw hits the rim and rolls in. Her second one is up and swish, 2 for 2 from the line. So Lehigh now with a 9-point lead on the Terriers as we just are starting up in the second quarter. Owen Gunn and Sarah Sturtevant, so happy to have you with us here from Case Center at Boston University as Sydney Johnson has it up for BU. She gives it over to Nelson dropping back. She's going to pull up that one off the rim. Rebound Lehigh. Mountain Hawks carrying it up here. Walker holding it. Walker going to put it inside where Grothus is able to get it to go with a nice turnaround move. And that's enough to draw a timeout from Mosley as Lehigh is having their way inside in this first half here against BU.
You know, you're definitely starting to see a lot of emotion come from the BU bench. They're upset with themselves. This isn't really their game, and having this timeout called early in the second, this isn't really their plan of how they've been playing for this whole season. So it's already a bit upsetting to them of what's going on. And they just need to find that rhythm and just kind of ground themselves on the court. And don't forget to control the pace of the game for themselves, because once they can take advantage of that, they should find what they need to go ahead and take control of the whole game.
We'll see if the Terriers can turn it around when we come back. We have a quick break in the action from BU's Case Center. We'll see you in a little bit. And we're back here from Case Center at Boston University for this first quarter of action here. BU versus Lehigh from Case Center here on WTBU Sports. I'm Owen Gunn. With me for this one is Sarah Sturtevant. And Sarah, you mentioned earlier that this Lehigh team has been surprising with the way they've been able to pull off upsets, but now they look like a team that is a little more dangerous and much capable of knocking off some of the best teams here. What do you think, if you're BU and you've seen what this Lehigh team is giving you, what do you think you're saying about how you're adjusting to what we've seen in this first quarter?
The biggest thing I would tell myself if I'm, say, Katie Nelson or Cindy Johnson out there is don't let their energy get me out of my own. I mean, you can see that Lehigh is just in their zone. They're locked in right now, but that doesn't mean that I wouldn't be able to get locked into mine. They can still find their zone and they can find their own energy. They just need to get amped and use that momentum that they've had all season to carry forward into this game.
As Franny Hottinger knocks down the three ball from the left side to give Lehigh the 30-18 lead. And Lehigh now 2 of 7 from beyond the arc at BU, 4 of 9. Certain, if you're looking for ways for the Terriers to get back into it, that might be one of them. Is Sydney Johnson driving and is fouled as she tries to put it home with the right hand. She'll go to the line and shoot some free throws here.
You know, over the break, I was just thinking to myself that I would love to see Cindy Johnson actually drive to the net and take a chance like that. She's a skilled player and she can have those opportunities. And clearly it's paying off with her going to the free throw line and she sinks it.
Yeah, Johnson swishing the first free throw. She's definitely been looked at as a strong shooter, but as you mentioned, there's some potential for her to also make her impact known, but with some drives. And BU, one of the things that was impressive in their victory over American was the way they would distribute the ball and give her and others good looks to take some shots from three, and just good looks altogether. As BU gets the rebound here, Katie Nelson driving, she'll hold on to it from the top of the arc and send it over to Johnson. Johnson on the right side of the top of the arc. She'll drive and she looks and gets it over to Pina. Pina gets it to Riley Childs, who tries to put it up. That hits the rim, and here's Lehigh coming the other way. Holding on to things inside where Grothus gets it over to Hottinger. And we'll see what happened here. It looks like Hottinger was right under the basket and she might have gotten fouled here as Lehigh makes some substitutions.
This might be a technical advantage to BU, but Lehigh hasn't played with a mask on this entire season versus BU has played almost every single one of their games with their mask, despite them wearing them semi-incorrectly sometimes. For the most part, they have worn their mask consistently, and you can see the Lehigh players are having trouble doing that. So maybe that could be a factor in them losing their momentum for this game and BU willing to be resilient.
Esposito put the three up. It was no good, but Riley Childs, who like Durant is very good at rebounding, especially on the offensive side, is able to get the rebound there and put that one in. It's now 30-22 Lehigh. But yeah, no, the masks certainly figure to be a factor. BU's dealt with that all season. A lot of the Lehigh players with their masks down right now, probably because it's just a different breathing situation. So definitely something to look at as the game goes on, because these players might get tired out as Esposito turns around from the right side, unable to get that one to fall as it goes off of, I believe that was Grothus. It went off of her and out. So I think BU will keep the ball. I think it touched Grothus last.
I think we're actually starting to see how the conditioning that the Terriers have had from Coach Mosley is starting to pay off. You can see Lehigh's getting a little tired. Their streak is starting to slow down. They're not scoring as much as they were in the first quarter, and BU is starting to take more chances.
And it's a good point. I wonder if them having to wear the masks has something to do with them being this tired right now. Is it's a kicked ball and Lehigh is going to hold on to it with 20 seconds to go on their shot clock here.
You can see it. The Terriers are starting to get fired up. You have Coach Mosley who's yelling on the sideline. She's a very vocal coach, as most are. but she's very encouraging of her players. She knows their strengths. And like I've said all season, she's talked to us and she said that she knows what her players are capable of, and that's achieving a win for this championship.
As the Mountain Hawks unable to get that one to go before the shot clock went off. So I believe that's going to be a shot clock violation. BU going to hold on to things. But yeah, if you're BU, we mentioned Sydney Johnson. What do you think most of the offense is going to be coming from if you're this Terriers team and you need to get back into this game as Esposito pulls up and that one's no good?
I think for offensively, if you're just trying to get in it, just take as many shots as you can, whether that's driving, threes in the paint, do what you can. We've seen them already take those chances and they're starting to pay off a little bit. I mean, Lehigh has some good defense. I believe they're playing man, which they aren't straying from, versus the Terriers like to stick to their zone, which might be a little different for their style of play and how they go about things. But the Terriers are pretty used to playing man. They faced off against a man defense when they played Army, and Army is the only person to have beaten the Terriers, I believe, twice now. So
Pina was able to knock that one down from mid-range to put the Terriers to within 6, 30-24. Lehigh with just under 4 minutes to go in this first half, as Sydney Johnson going to drive it up and pass it over to Esposito, who holds it along the side. Pina thought about a three, but she's going to send it back to Sydney Johnson up top. Johnson at the U on the BU. Now she's just inside the arc and she gives it over to Katie Nelson up top. Nelson gives it over to Pina, who gets it right back to Nelson, 7 to shoot. Nelson looking, tries to get herself some opportunity. Left hand floater, no good. And we'll see who that went off of last, but I believe based on the fact that Durant is running back to play defense, it touched her last, and BU not able to come up with points there.
you know what, though? I'm still liking the chances that they're taking. They're starting to close that gap. They have plenty of time left to turn this game around. So as long as they keep trying, you can't be too disappointed.
As Lehigh coming right back with it. Franny Hottinger certainly out as a quick turnover. Sydney Johnson coming the other way. Johnson sends it up ahead for Nelson. Nelson fed it inside for Durant, but she got her pocket picked, and now Lehigh the other way. Steele with a three. That's way off. It goes out of bounds. BU is going to get the ball. And just 2:51 to go in this first half. And you're right, BU's clawing their way back into it. They're only down 6 now.
Yeah, we haven't seen too many fast breaks like what Lehigh just had. It's been a lot of back and forth with trying to figure out your own zone in the movement. Right now, they're doing a half court press or full court press. And the Terriers are moving the ball well. I'm seeing them start to figure things out, and that's going to be really big for
Feed
them.
outside, 3-point attempt from Pina, no good. Quick rebound there. Riley Childs unable, or that was, yeah, Riley Childs unable to put it home. And now Lehigh right back. And the Terrier is able to take it right away. Sydney Johnson has it up top, gives it to Nelson in the middle, and Johnson has it up top. She looks, gives it to Childs, who thought about it. Johnson has a great look from 3, unable to connect as that hit the rim. Goes out of bounds, and BU will give the ball back to Lehigh with 2 minutes to go here. Lehigh coming back up with it right now is Steele for the Mountain Hawks. And she gives it over to Claflin. A shot right there was no good from Lehigh. And now Katie Nelson coming the other way. Nelson has it at the U for BU. 20 to shoot, 136 to go in the first half. Johnson has it, gives it over to Pina. Back, Johnson and Pina were playing some catch. And now Nelson up top. Nelson gives it to Esposito on the side. Esposito looking to create some separation for herself, but offensive foul there. Steele will go down, and Lehigh will get the ball back.
There haven't been many subs yet in this quarter, and I'm curious to see if Coach Mosley will maybe change it up going into the third quarter, or if Lehigh's going to change it up too, because you can tell their players are getting a little bit tired as the Terriers are showing their conditioning once again.
As the Terriers here clawing their way back into this one. Lehigh gonna get a 3-point attempt from Kramer. That's no good. On the rebound, Hottinger was driving the basket and she went down a little awkwardly. She looks like she's gonna get up okay, but she might have gotten fouled there by Sydney Johnson. As Hottinger will shoot free throws now with 1:02 to go. As we were talking about, not a whole lot of substitutions early on. Some substitutions right there, I believe, for BU. As the Terriers making a change as Sydney Johnson will go off following that foul with just 1:02 to go here.
Yeah, that was a bit of an awkward hit on Sydney Johnson. They probably just wanted her to get her breathing back and find her bearings a little bit, and that way she doesn't end up fouling too much, and that is a disadvantage for the Terriers.
Katie Nelson has it, looking inside. Nelson will hold on to it up top. 12 to shoot for BU. Esposito looking. She's on the outside, sends it up top for Nelson. Nelson just inside the 3-pointer floater. You bet. She nails it. 26 to 31.
This is a great shot from Katie Nelson. I was starting to think she was getting a little too quiet. She was moving the ball around and trying to create plays for her team, but she's a shooter, and when she shoots, she scores.
When she shoots, she certainly makes the other team worried, that's for sure, as Nelson has her Terriers right back in it. Lehigh driving, unable to convert there, and Nelson sending it the other way as a 3-pointer shot almost at the buzzer. That one no good from Esposito. And BU will head to the locker room only down 2 after trailing by as many as 10, but Mosley was hot on the bench. She was yelling at her players after that. It might have been something about that shot taken right before halftime. It was good.
It looked good. It's good effort.
They might not have, I don't know why they didn't count it. They didn't put it on, or no, they did. They might have been yelling in celebration. It looked like that shot actually went in from Esposito from beyond the arc. It's sometimes a little harder to see with these streams, but Esposito making the shot and putting BU in a good spot, only down 2, 29-31. If you're BU and you're coming off of this little run here to end the first half, what do you in your Mosley, what are you saying to your players now?
I would tell them to keep it up. I mean, finishing on a shot like that from Esposito, that just lit a fire under us even more than what we already had. That's going to get us going real good. And we're probably in the locker room talking about little things we need to fix and tune up, probably making the baskets, even though we have the chances now, and just watching our defense so we don't get those unnecessary fouls and just keeping control. I think the Terriers are making a good comeback right now.
Well, it'll certainly be an exciting second half of action from Case Center at BU, but it's great to have you with us here on WTBU Sports. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And we're back here from Case Center for the second half of an electrifying Patriot League final between BU and Lehigh. Sarah, what have you noticed so far from BU, and what do you think their keys are for this second half?
Well, BU definitely started to find out who they were towards the end of that first half. They had that great finishing three from Emily Esposito before the break, and now they've managed to catch up 31-31 and then tie it. They actually outshot and outscored Lehigh last quarter. They outscored them 16-8, which shows you that the change of pace is happening. The Terriers are actually really accomplishing the game that they've had all season long.
Riley Childs was able to get the layup here to tie things up at 31 for the Terriers. And now they've got the ball here with 20 seconds to shoot and just under 9 minutes to go in this half here. On the flip side, if you're Lehigh and you've just blown that 10-point lead, what are you saying right now to try to rally the troops and withstand this comeback from BU?
You know, they upset Bucknell, and we keep talking about that. But if they can upset Bucknell, they can upset BU on their home turf. And they have a game. They're strong players. We see that from Franny Hottinger, and she's a strong leader for the Hawks, the Mountain
Sydney
Hawks,
Johnson
sorry.
had just knocked that one down for BU to take the lead. And Franny Hottinger, who you were just talking about, knocked that one down for Lehigh to go up and tie the game here at 33. And now BU has it with 8 minutes to go. 3-point shot from Pina, no good. Rebound, there was a scuffle for it, and falling down. It looks like Childs is going to get a foul for pushing Hottinger down there, and Lehigh is going to get the ball.
You know, you're talking about the threes, and actually going into this game, we knew that Lehigh is strong with their 3-point shots. They lead the league with having 10 a game averaging, and the Terriers have actually outdone them this game. They outscored Lehigh on the threes 5-13, and Lehigh is very little. I think they've had 2 threes this whole game. So unless they get 8, they're going to lose the average.
Lehigh setting up shop here out front. It's going to be Sexe for Lehigh. And in the corner there, a 3-pointer is good that was Walker for Lehigh to put the Mountain Hawks back up here early in the second half. Lehigh clinging to a 36-33 lead. Sydney Johnson has it for BU just in front of the arc. She sends it for Esposito. A good passing play and wide open for free. Durant wasn't able to get it, but Katie Nelson had the rebound. Esposito sends it out for Johnson, who's driving and gets the right hand inside layup to go.
I feel like these teams love to make me eat my words because, of course, Lehigh would go and score a 3 and BU would miss theirs. But that was a nice drive from Sydney Johnson, exactly what we need to see from her.
And Lehigh going to throw up another 3. And Sarah, you're jinxing us here as Hottinger has been red hot here, knocking down a 3 to take the 39-35 lead here for Lehigh. BU setting things up top. That's Katie Nelson. She's going to give it to Sydney Johnson, top of the arc. Now Katie Nelson has it on the left side. She's posted up for Durant. Durant going to send it out for Esposito. Sends it to the left side for Nelson, who tried the left-hand floater. That was no good. And inside, it looks like Durant got fouled there. Or we'll see what exactly happened as they show the replay from that earlier 3-point shot by Kramer, and then Hottinger it was on the next play. BU going to inbound here with 20 seconds left to shoot. Sydney Johnson will take it. And she gives it over to Esposito. Now Johnson quarterbacking things from up top. 15 to shoot, 6:15 to go in the third. BU down 4 points in this Patriot League final. Johnson tries to drive in there, and looks like she had an offensive foul as she appeared to knock down two Lehigh players on that one, and the officials are going to call. No, it was just it was a clear sort of push there, and Lehigh will regather things up 4.
And we're watching this game, but if you look on the sidelines, we mentioned earlier how Coach Mosley is showing some vocalization and she's yelling at her players, trying to get them amped up, trying to tell them what they need to be doing out there. And if you look at Lehigh's side, you can see that their coach, although she's involved and she's inquisitive about the game, she seems a little bit more relaxed, which is hard to tell from the standpoint of where they are at in the game.
As Katie Nelson settled things down for BU, neither team able to score there. Nelson from just inside the 3-point line, no good. That one is rebounded there by Grothus. As Grothus gets it over to Clarity. Clarity tries the right-handed floater. That one no good. Katie Nelson will collect the rebound here for BU. 39-35, your score. Lehigh in front as we pass the 5-minute mark of the third quarter. In your Patriot League final here, Esposito up top. She sends it to Katie Nelson in the right corner. 3-point attempt, no good. Durant with the rebound. Nelson has it back, and she's going to dance around. Now she's at the top of the key. Nelson looking for Durant inside, and Durant looks like she had an offensive foul there. She looks like she hacked somebody, and Lehigh's going to get the ball.
You know, I have to wonder if there's some conversation going on in the locker room or on the sidelines between Katie Nelson and her team that we're just unaware of, because this game isn't typically how she plays. She's more of a scorer, as we mentioned, and right now it just seems like she's trying to open up the options, and although she is a good playmaker, I'd love to see her take her chances and go for it some more.
Well, since we're inside the 5-minute mark in the third quarter, that means we have a break in the action. We're going to go to commercial, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And we're back here at Case Center. I'm Owen Gunn. With me is Sarah Sturtevant for this exciting contest, the Patriot League Finals. BU Terriers taking on the Lehigh Mountain Hawks. Lehigh currently clinging to a 35-39 lead. And if you're BU, Sarah, what do you think enabled them to have so much success coming back in this game early in the half, and how do they replicate that in this third quarter here?
Well, early on, Coach Mosley had them take a timeout, and obviously it was very necessary because they were starting to lose control. They weren't really having possession as they'd like, and I think that has a lot to do with the advantages or new beginnings that they've had in this game to come back from that deficit that they had early on. And it's still there, but they're clearly chipping away at it, and Lehigh is holding on by their fingertips.
Katie Nelson inbounds for BU. Marin Durant gonna settle things up top, and now Nelson at the B on the BU sends it right to Esposito. Esposito with a nice move to create separation. She shoots one that goes off the rim and out. Now up top for BU, Nelson holds things again. Nelson out there on the floor with Esposito, Durant, and Riley Childs, who has the ball right now. Riley Childs sends it out for Nelson. Nelson with the shot. That one looked like it got blocked on the way. And Lehigh is going to get the ball, as it looks like that went off of some BU player last. Mosley certainly has some thoughts on that call, but looks like Lehigh is going to get the ball here.
We talked about Sydney Johnson earlier and how she's a key player to the Terriers if she can find her game early on, and she has, because she's actually leading the team with 12 points. She's gone 4th for 11 in the field goal, and she's played almost as many minutes as Katie Nelson, which typically both of those players, they do find a lot of minutes on the court, but she's producing a lot more than any of her team right now. And although they're all working together, she needs some help out there.
As the 3-point attempt from Mary Clardy did not fall, so BU regained possession. In driving there for the Terriers was Sydney Johnson, who was unable to get it to fall. And Liz Sheen was out there in the mix. She heads off, is heading out now. Sorry about that, folks. Johnson from just inside the 3-point line shoots one for BU, and that one's no good. Lehigh coming the other way. The Mountain Hawks going to shoot one up there. That was Kramer, no good. And the rebound from the ever-reliable Durant, who gets it over to Nelson for BU. Esposito has it just outside the key, and swoosh. That's a good one from Esposito, doing what she does best, creating separation for herself and knocking down the mid-range jumper. 39-37, Lehigh narrowly in front, as an excellent drive there from Hottinger, the stud for Lehigh, but wasn't quite able to get it to go. But Lehigh going to hold on to possession here. As we look at this replay, Hottinger was going to work against Marin Durant and was able to keep the ball for BU. It was a 3-pointer and good right off the inbound. Lehigh, and we'll look at the screen and see who got that, but that was a 3-pointer from the outside. Good execution. And Lehigh now clinging to a 5-point lead on the Terriers. Just over 2 minutes to go in this third quarter. Patriot League final. As trying to get it to go there was Riley Child. She got her pocket picked. And now Lehigh the other way. Mary McLaughlin gets it out, and a 3-point attempt there from Behar was no good for Lehigh. BU coming the other way. Katie Nelson going to settle things down. Nelson gets it out for Sydney Johnson, who's going to hold on to things at the outside. Johnson gets it over to Durant. And looks like we got a foul call of some sort, as BU is going to do a substitution here. Megan Pina is going to come in for the Terriers. 1:55 to go in this third quarter. BU is down by 5 against a strong, formidable Lehigh team that is really showing their toughness early on here. As the Terriers get things set, Sydney Johnson pulls back, shoots one, it rattles in. Terriers down by 3 now, 42-39 Lehigh. And Lehigh has it up top. 17 to shoot on the clock here. That's a bid from Katie Rice, who settles it down, gets it over to Behar, who hits the three. Behar took a feed from Rice and nailed the three from the right side. And Lehigh is now up 6 in this Patriot League final. 1:06 to go. BU looking for a spark before they head to the fourth quarter. Sydney Johnson up top. Johnson looking inside. Has Durant. Durant, no good. Rebound by Nelson. Nelson got it inside for Pina, who couldn't get it to go either. Here's Lehigh on a semi-odd man rush the other way. Mary McClarty with the shot, and she got fouled on the way in. She's going to shoot some free throws for the Mountain Hawks.
It's nice to see some effort and the pieces coming together for the Terriers, but they really need to find how to get back that lead. They were so close at the start of this quarter. They were only down by 2, and now it's starting to get away from them again. A good effort by the Mountain Hawks as they continue to strive to keep this going, but it'll be very interesting as the game continues to see what's going to happen.
As Mary McClarty, the guard, nails both free throws, giving Lehigh a 47-39 lead with 39 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Katie Nelson taking things up and sending it wide for Pina. Now BU spreading it around, and up top, Riley Childs gets it to the side for Sydney Johnson, who's going to try a contested three off the rim and no good. Kramer with the rebound for Lehigh. Mountain Hawks getting the last shot here with 14 seconds to go in the third quarter, and they have the lead 47-39 as it's a loose ball rolling on the ground and Pino able to pick it up. We'll see if they call a jump, as it looks like BU is going to have an opportunity to do something with 4 seconds to go in this third quarter. Riley Childs was going to inbound. No, now they're going to let Katie Nelson inbound it from all the way in the backcourt, and BU is going to have 4 seconds to get the ball down the court and make something happen here. So now they decide to have Sydney Johnson inbound it right to Katie Nelson. 3 seconds and 2. They have it all the way in the corner for Pina. 3-pointer, no good. BU unable to pull off the buzzer beater antics there, and they find themselves down 8 after leveling things up to start the half. And your score now is Lehigh 47, BU 39, with just 1 quarter to go here from Case Center. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. We have a commercial right now, but fourth quarter on the way from Case Center. Terriers trailing by 8. And we're back at Case Center here, Boston University. The Terriers trailing 47-39 to the Lehigh Mountain Hawks. Lehigh shooting 39% from the field, BU shooting 30%, and 5 of 20 beyond the arc. Well, Lehigh is 6 of 19 from there. And I think, Sarah, we were talking about right at halftime when we were off the air about Lehigh being so efficient from beyond the arc and being able to capitalize on their shots. They're not really taking as much shots as BU, but they're finding ways to make their big shots here.
Yeah, when you look at the game right now, early on we were worried that Lehigh, or not worried, but we were noting how Lehigh seemed to be outpaced by the Terriers going into the second or third. But I think they found their bearings as the break has gone on, and they've decided not to let that deficit happen. And for some reason, they're just getting more lucky with their shots going in the net. It's not that the Terriers aren't taking the chances. It's just.
And a great play inside there from Marin Durant. She collected a feed from Sydney Johnson and is able to get one there for the Terriers. Now 47-41 Lehigh with 9:20 to go in your final quarter. Patriot League Championship. Lehigh possesses the ball now, 13 to shoot, and a nice drive there from, that was Grothus again, able to get one to go. 49-41 Lehigh back in front. Katie Nelson from 3 from the right side, unable to get one to go. Lehigh gets the rebound, 8:50 to go. Mountain Hawks battling there. That's Grothus going to send it outside for Kramer. Kramer sends it to the corner where Behar tried to connect. She connected on a huge 3 earlier, and she was unable to get it to fall. So now Sydney Johnson has it from the right side. Johnson, mid-range, good. She swished it. She stepped back, created some separation for herself, and was able to get that one to go. Lehigh now bringing it up. They have a 6-point lead, 49-43, with a little over 8 minutes to go in the fourth. Kramer sends it up top for Behar. She takes it right back. Behar going to hold on to things. And now Grothus had it inside, lost it. And Sydney Johnson got it. And all the way from her own key, she tried to send it all the way the length of the court for Nelson, who was just able to catch it, but had to slow things down. Nelson goes inside the key, tried to feed Durant on a little pick and roll. And Durant was fighting for it. She had 2 Lehigh Mountain Hawks on her from each side. And that ball rolled out of bounds. And we'll see who they say touched it last. It looks like BU is going to keep the ball here, and they will. And a substitution coming as Esposito coming in for the Terriers. Coming out is Riley Childs. What do you think putting Esposito in here gives the Terriers?
Esposito is a tricky player. She has a good game going on about her. And she's coming off a big comeback season of not having played last year, but she showed up big in the beginning of this game. And I think giving her a little break to figure stuff out and maybe get her mind settled, she'll come up big in this fourth quarter.
As Katie Nelson just took the floater there from the left elbow, it was no good. It went out of bounds, and Lehigh now possesses the ball with 7:30 to go. Mary McLaughlin gives it over to Megan Walker. And a shot on there from the corner. That was Franny Hottinger from the corner was able to knock it down. It's now 51-43 with 7:09 to go in the fourth quarter. As an errant pass intended for Durant goes out of bounds. And we'll see if BU is able to hang on to possession here.
Earlier, you were saying that Katie Nelson seemed to slow things down, and I feel like that's something we keep hearing as this game continues, that she's trying to slow it down so her teammates and her can gather their thoughts and work through those plays that they've practiced on and find those outlets and routes to really produce on some of these scoring chances that they've had.
As Nelson's inbound was picked off and Lehigh went the other way, and knocking down the 3-pointer there was junior guard Megan Walker. And that's enough to cause Mosley to call a timeout here, as Lehigh, with the big 3-pointer from Walker, to take a 54-43 lead. We got a break in the action. Looks like we're going to go to commercial because of Mosley's timeout, but we'll see you guys in just a moment. And we're back here at Case Center with Lehigh leading this Patriot championship game by 11 points. And I remember, Sarah, you had been saying that Lehigh had been having some troubles with their 3-point shooting, and then later on they became, credit to them, they became more efficient in that area, and they pulled away a little bit from BU here. If you're Mosley and you're just calling that timeout, what are you saying to this Terrier team to try to settle things down?
Right before the break, we saw that Katie Nelson had a turnover. And if you actually look at the stats for this quarter, the Mountain Hawks have actually had 14 points off of the turnovers from BU. So if I'm Mosley, I'm telling my team to get it together and stop giving away those free balls, because that's just taking away from their chances and giving the Mountain Hawks a whole other field of opportunities to keep going with this lead that they have.
As Esposito was able to knock down the mid-range shot just now to give Lehigh now with the 54-45 lead, as BU is able to cut the deficit a little bit. Lehigh jockeying inside, but Marin Durant with some strong defense, able to take the ball away from Maria Sexe, and now BU has possession with 17 seconds to go on the shot clock, 5:55 to go in the game. Katie Nelson holding things up top. She's going to send it all the way to the left corner for Pina. Pina sent it inside for Durant, and Durant with a great hook from just under the basket. And BU now only down 54-47, 5:41 to go. And Marin Durant, a player that you referenced earlier, Sarah, she definitely has the potential to be impactful, especially right in front of the basket, and feels like BU is going to need her. They want to get back in this year.
Yeah, if you look at her, she's had 13 rebounds this game, 11 defensive ones. She is solid in the paint. That's what I was talking about earlier in the game before it started. And unfortunately, she just got pulled out and Riley Childs is in, but Riley Childs has been playing decently. So hopefully, maybe we'll get Durant back in there and she can keep going strong for the Terriers.
As Mary Claherty pulled up from far out for Lehigh, but that one rattled around and didn't go. And BU gonna get the ball here with 5:20 to go, and they're down 7 as some substitutions are made. Maria Sexe is out for Lehigh. We'll let you know who they put in a second because we're watching this stream. And now Sydney Johnson has it in the right corner offensively for BU. Johnson going to be at the elbow now and send it inside for Esposito. Esposito pulling back and hitting an impressive contested mid-range jumper. Esposito has been really strong with contested shots, especially right in that elbow area. And now BU only down 54-49, under 5 minutes to go in this Patriot League final. Lehigh has the ball with 12 to shoot. And a quick catch and release from Franny Hottinger falls out and does not go. Katie Nelson bringing it the other way. Nelson going to slow things down once again. Her Terriers only down 5 points as they're slowly whittling away at Lehigh's lead. Nelson up top, looking. She pulls up from about 3 and she nails it. Katie Nelson, we'll see what they gave her a 2-pointer there. So it's going to be 54-51, but a really good pull up from Katie Nelson. She's playing like a leader right now for this Terrier team.
For sure. As they go with this final push with 4 minutes and 19 seconds left, the Terriers need to give it their all, as Lehigh does too. But Lehigh, again, is just barely holding on to this lead. There's plenty of times for the BU Terriers to turn it around and make this their game. And it'll be very interesting to see how it goes. I mean, we just saw Franny Hottinger, who has been on fire this game. She had a missed jumper. And Katie Nelson, who has been slower, as we keep saying, and she hasn't really gotten as many points as she normally would. She just had a good jumper. So maybe the roles are reversing right now. It'll be very interesting to see how this develops over the next 4 minutes.
Mention as we're in commercial break, but we'll keep it right here for now. Franny Hottinger, a real impact player for this Lehigh Mountain Hawks team. She's a all Patriot League second team selection, and she is leading the team in scoring with 13.9 points per game. And she's also averaging 6.9 rebounds per game, which is also a leader for the team. So you mentioned her. She's definitely been an impact in today's game with 19 points. But BU getting that depth contributions, so to speak, as all around the lineup, starting with Katie Nelson. The Terriers have been able to whittle away at this deficit here to make it only a 3-point lead for Lehigh. But it'll certainly be an exciting final 3 minutes here in Boston. And we will have it for you in just a second, but we're going to go to a commercial real quick. We're back at Case Center here, jumping right back into things. 4:14 to go. Lehigh up with a 54-51 lead on the Terriers, and they'll get right back into things. Inbounding here, Claire Steele going to hold things up top, and now Mary Claherty holding it on the outside for Lehigh. And now with only 3 seconds, Steele, Lehigh's got to get a shot off, and now fighting inside and unable to get anything to go was Emma Grothaus, and BU with the rebound, down 3 here. Sydney Johnson, quick drive to the basket. We talked about her needing to do that. She got fouled on the drive, it looks like. And now with 3:37 to go, Sydney Johnson should be going to the line here. And Sarah, we talked about Sydney Johnson and how you were hoping she would get more involved in driving to the basket here, because we know what she can do as a shooter. What have you seen from her overall this game, and what do you think that she needs to do with her game here to help BU get back into this?
Right now, Sydney Johnson, she's just stepped up for her teammates. She has taken on the role that she has done throughout this season. She's lost a couple of games where Marissa Mosley has taken her out, but Sydney Johnson has filled into the spot where she needs to be today. She's been very consistent. I'd say she just needs to keep doing what she's doing. She's driven to the net like I hope she would, and obviously she's created a lot of scoring opportunities for them. So I think Sydney's just been very solid this whole game.
And Lehigh had a possession there. They were unable to get one to fall, and that was Emma Grothis that was driving the basket there, and some good defense by Riley Childs as she comes in for Durant. You similarly skilled players that can give you good defense and good rebounding. But now Lehigh with 11 seconds to shoot, they're passing it around, and a drive to the basket from the left side is good from Lehigh by Megan Walker. And now BU finds themselves trailing by 5 once again. Katie Nelson got to quarterback things, and she's standing at the B in the BU right now. 18 seconds on the shot clock, so plenty of time to work with. Sydney Johnson on the right side. Johnson looking. She had Riley Childs wide open in the paint, but she elected to go outside for Esposito instead. Esposito was playing catch with Riley Childs. Now Esposito going to pull up from the left elbow. No good, but an offensive rebound from Katie Nelson. But there was an offensive foul in there. I believe it was on Nelson. So Lehigh is going to get the ball back.
We talked about Marion Durant and Riley Childs being fairly similar in their gameplay, and we've seen a lot of substitutions for one another within the past 2 minutes. I believe they've subbed for each other at least twice. It seems like every other minute, Coach Mosley is just switching them out. Maybe that has to do with some foul trouble that Durant is getting into, or maybe she's trying to mix it up for Lehigh so they get a little bit confused on the court. But right now there's 2 minutes left, so.
And Megan Walker driving there and able to bank in the 2-pointer, give Lehigh a crucial 7-point lead, and that's enough for BU to take a quick timeout. We'll see what she does in terms of personnel decisions, but with just over 2 minutes to go, BU's got some work to do. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this commercial here on WTBU Sports. Owen Gund and Sarah Sturtevant on the call here. We're right back after that quick commercial break. BU bringing it up. It's Katie Nelson. She's going to give it over to Esposito, and now Sydney Johnson holding things up top for BU. She's going to go all the way back to the B in the BU. 16 seconds to shoot here, and only 1:45 to go in this Patriot League championship. BU down 7. Johnson tried to drive and push home the bank shot, but that's no good. Lehigh with the rebound. They can play possession ball. You have to wonder if BU is going to make a foul, and that's exactly what they do. Mary Clarity is going to get fouled for Lehigh, and now it feels like if you're BU, you want to just get the ball as fast as you can, as they have a foul to give here. A minute 34 to go in the game, and looks like they're not going to opt to foul right away. They're going to try to defend here, as with the ball is Megan Walker. She gives it over to Mary Clarity. Clarity has Franny Hottinger on the outside, but she elects to hold on to it. 7 seconds to go, 1:17 in the game. Clarity sends it outside for Hottinger. Hottinger with the mid-range jumper. It rattles in. That's a dagger for BU. It's now a 60-51 lead for Lehigh in the Patriot League Championship. Driving up quickly is Sydney Johnson. Johnson sending it to the top of the arc for Esposito. Esposito driving all the way under the basket. She loses that on a pass she was trying to get to Durant. And now there's only 52 seconds to go as Nelson ran over to Claire Steele as fast as she could, got her hands on her for a foul. That's the foul to give. 51 seconds to go. But BU is now down 60-51, and that they cannot foul anymore. So Claire Steele going to the line, where she has shot 84.1% on the season, as Esposito coming out of the game for BU. We'll see who they put in there. Lehigh 7 for 8 on free throws today, and of course with that 9-point lead, that 7-point cushion they've built from the free throws is huge, as sinking the first one is Steele. It's now a 10-point lead for Lehigh, and she gets ready for the second one here. BU likely gonna drop a quick play as Steele knocks down the second free throw, and now Nelson has to be quick. 49 seconds to go. She brings it all the way up, gets it quickly to Pina, who missed the shot. It bounced around on the board, and rebounding it there was Clarity again, who's been big for Lehigh. Quickly fouled by Nelson there. Now, this game, tough spot for BU to be in, but especially that shot by Hottinger, that was really the dagger.
Yeah, that shot just kind of sealed the deal. And then, unfortunately, when you start to foul, as the Terriers are doing right now, that's kind of your last ditch effort. And it's just with 41 seconds left and they're down by 11. It doesn't seem like this is going to be possible for the Terriers to pull off, which we hate to see as BU students. But unbiasedly, good effort by the Lehigh Mountain Hawks. It's been a good game all around.
Yeah, good game all around, and certainly an impressive individual performance from Franny Hottinger, who we've been talking about throughout the game. She has 21 points on this one, and she's shot 64% from the field, going 9 of 14, and also 50% from three. She's hit 2 big threes, and they've come at critical times. The first one was late in the second quarter, and then the second one was late in the third that forced Mosley to call a timeout. So some timely execution from Franny Hottinger. But this Lehigh team as a whole, they've found ways to beat teams that were better than them throughout the season. And as we've talked about on the show, their shot efficiency was a big part of it. As now we're back, and Mary Clarity is unable to connect on the second free throw. So it's still 62-51, but kind of a last effort from BU as Nelson tries the quick three from just inside half, and it's no good. And another foul there, this time from Liz Sheen, the sophomore from Arlington, Virginia. It's going to get a foul there. BU, tough for them to get back in this, but a strong season for this Terriers team as they go to their first ever Patriot League final that they've hosted. And while it's not something that they can look back on right now and be happy, they're probably very disappointed to lose this one. Overall, probably a season where there's a lot to be proud of.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, since Marissa Mosley has stepped up as the head coach for BU, you have just progressively seen the Terriers get better and better. Even when they're down right now, 64-51. This is the first time they've made it to these finals since 2003, I believe. So she clearly is changing the tide for this Terrier team altogether. And she mentioned early on that they had some younger individuals coming up, but they had some strong senior leaders. And with Katie Nelson, this has been a good 4 years for her. She's a great player, and you can't be disappointed when you've had a 12-2 season overall, and you've put all your effort into it.
Indeed, and going to the finals for the first time in the Mosley era is certainly something to be proud of, as Durant was able to get a bucket inside. It's now 64-53 with 8.8 to go, and now Katie Nelson coming out and giving Coach Mosley a big hug. Unfortunately, that's going to be it, and a tough way to go out with a loss, but certainly a lot to be proud of for this BU group of seniors. Now Lehigh coming in and bringing in some of their younger players, some other players, just to give them some experience in this championship game. Is coming out is Grothis and Sexe and some of their, big minute eaters, as Durant sinks that free throw to cut the deficit to 10. And now a timeout called. I don't know why BU's even bothering here. They probably know it's over. Lehigh knows too. They're containing themselves on the bench, but just certainly a weird season around the Patriot League this year with all the COVID protocols and everything. And I'm sure it's great for the league to complete their season here. And BU's got to just be disappointed right now that they didn't come up on top, though.
Yeah, it is disappointing, but given the circumstances and the short time frame that they've had to get at it, and after being off for so long and just getting back in the routine of things and at such a quick pace, they didn't really ever have a break to really combat some of the issues that they've had. And if they did, it worked well. They've gotten this far, and although it's over now, it's been a good effort and certainly something they should be proud of.
As Lehigh holding, Anna Harvey's going to take the inbound. She holds on, and 3 and 2 and 1, and it's all over. Your Lehigh Mountain Hawks are your 2021 Patriot League tournament champions, as Katie Nelson goes over, gives Coach Mosley a big hug. And for Lehigh, it's going to be an exhilarating moment that you'll never forget. And for BU and for most of this team, you have a lot of players that will be back next season. And it'll certainly serve as motivation for those players. But unfortunately for senior Katie Nelson, this one is really going to sting. And for other seniors on the team, like Tanisha Presley, and there's one more, Mackenzie Myers, for those players, it's certainly going to sting. But for this other group, hopefully it serves as a source of motivation coming back next season.
Yeah, definitely. We saw Sydney Johnson step up today, and she still has plenty of time left at BU to really hold on to this loss and make it different next year.
Yep. And so BU coming into this game, they were saying they have unfinished business. Unfortunately, that business still remains unfinished. The Boston University Terriers falling to the Lehigh University Mountain Hawks by a final score of 64-54. It's been great being with you this afternoon on WTBU Sports. I'm Owen Gunn with Sarah Sturtevant saying so long from Case Center at Boston University. It was great to have you guys with us. We'll see you.